Hello, my name is Bob Anderson, and I'm the founder and creator of the Leadership Circle. Today, I want to talk to you about the tension that we're all in all the time as adults, the tension between purpose and safety. We call it the core tension. And it's poignant that as we shoot, the world is traumatized by COVID-19. And we're all in it together. And in the face of pressure or crisis or significant problems, things not going well, the natural tendency is to want to contract, get small, fall into a play not to lose, careful, cautious game. And yet there's also this pull to something higher that we, at some level, know we're here for this moment. And so we can feel the tension in us between our fear and the part of us which cares and wants to contribute. And we all have that, and it's all going on, and it's going on in every meeting we're in the organization. Part of us which cares about what we care about and wants to make a difference with our lives, and the part of us which says, thank you very much, I'm not up for that much risk. David White's a good friend of mine. He's a poet. He wrote a poem called Out in the Ocean. Now, the basic notion here is that a ship in a harbor is safe, but that's not what ships are built for. Right? So here's David out in the ocean, not in a ship, in a kayak. And he's 5 miles out. He'd forgotten to check the weather. He gets caught in a huge storm, a massive storm, and literally spends 3 hours out there fighting for his life. And the first part of the poem is about the storm and the tremendous forces and pressures and the turbulence and the disruption and well, if that isn't a pretty good description of where we are, I don't know what is. And then in the middle of all that, something happens and something came alive in him. And of course, hours later, he's back on the shore, exhausted, but he knew that something ignited in his soul, and he wanted to write about that. That's what poets do. And so this is the last part of the poem. The first part is about the storm. The last part is how he concludes the poem. He says, with 5 miles, you can hear the desperation. You can hear the 5 miles to go. With 5 miles to go. I mean, we're at the front end of this COVID-19 right now. We got months of this, not a year, long term. So with 5 miles to go of open ocean, the eyes pierce the horizon. The kayak pulls round like a pony held by unseen reins, shying out of the ocean, and the spark, behind fear, recognized as life, leaps into flame. Always this energy smolders inside. When it remains unlit, the body fills with dense smoke. With 5 miles, 5 miles to go of open ocean, then you can hear something shift, something resolve. I will live, it's kind of like, with 5 miles to go of open ocean, the eyes pierce the horizon, the kayak pulls round like a pony held by unseen reins, shying out of the ocean, and the spark, behind fear, recognized as life, leaps into flame. Always this energy smolders inside. When it remains unlit, the body fills with dense smoke. I love this tension that's in the poem between spark and fear. Right? Always this tension, always the spark, always the fear. And the spark is behind fear, like you have to go through your fear in order to take this spark and turn it into flame, fire. Spark behind fear, recognized as life, leaps, right? Always this energy smolders inside. Always this tension smolders inside. We either move toward the spark, give it oxygen, kindling, and feed it and let it flame, or we contract and the body fills with dense smoke. Life is non-negotiable about this. The soul does not invest itself in a compromise. And so there is a part in us which knows what we're here for, cares about what we care about, is here to live into some purpose, and we have a sense for what that is, or a vision that of what we're trying to create, or a contribution we want to make with our work, our lives, our leadership. And there's another part of us which works to pay the mortgage. I do. The retirement fund is not yet fully funded. And so I want to be about stuff that matters to me, and I want to pay the mortgage. And if we work in organizations, we want to move up, right? We can better fund our futures and our family security and so on. If we're higher in the organization, more pay, more income, so on. And if we want to move up, well, then we need the approval of those around us. We need people around us to think highly of us, see us as credible, especially people above us. To fall from grace, even for a moment, with those we vest with our future, or seem to hold the keys to our future, well, that's not good for their career. So this is the tension, and it's going on in every meeting. If I want to move up and I need approval, then the tendency is I gotta do whatever it takes to win that. And I can fall quickly into a play not to lose, fear-driven, contracted posture. And both are necessary. You don't pay enough attention to safety, you'll fail on the purpose. But if you only pay attention to safety, you'll fail on the purpose. So how do we hold both and optimize it without falling into a play not to lose game? Dietrich Bonhoeffer wrote from a German prison camp during World War II. He wrote, "The opposite of security is peace." The opposite of security is peace. So if we're constantly focused on playing it safe, secure, play not to lose, then we're constantly insecure. And yet it's somehow, if we set out on the high seas, we're actually more at risk, but we've taken our lives into our own hands when we focus on bringing into being what matters most and living the life we came here to live. And paradoxically, we may be even less scared. Or not. There's no safe way to be great. If there are, they've all been taken. And there's no great way to be safe either. And so to lead, especially in times of change, where we're asked to really shift the status quo, well, there's no safe way to do that. To lead is to live at the edge, and that's the deal. And the more we focus on safety, the more we end up in what we call a play not to lose or reactive structure of mind and that kind of leadership. If we stay on purpose, we may be scared, but we manage the inherent risk. We stay on purpose, and we tend then toward a creative structure of mind and leadership. And that is the tension, the core tension we're always working. Do I love more than I fear? Thank you. It's been great to be with you.